lovelies, this is Sheree from Divine Visions. I'm bringing you your twin flame soulmate reading for August. We're going to be looking at the masculine and feminine sides here, the traits for each person. So whether you identify yourself mostly as a masculine role or a feminine role, we all have both within us anyway, that duality. But it's what you're most, I suppose, identifying yourself as that will assist you with this reading today. So we're going to be looking at the masculine aspect first, see what's going on, and I say he or she for each one. It doesn't matter what gender you are. I just say he for masculine and she for feminine. It's just how I read. So we'll look at the masculine side first, and then we're going to take a look into the feminine. Right, so let's have a look first up at the current energy of the masculine. We're just going to be looking at all sorts of things here. So I just want to focus on the masculine for these cards. This is the Psychic Tarot for the heart cards. Oh no, sorry, this is the Psychic Tarot, I should say. John Holland, the Psychic Tarot. I'll be using the Psychic Tarot for the heart cards for the feminine. So what's going on with the masculine right now? Let's tune into this energy. Special message, fertility, talking about femininity. It's about growth, expansion, beauty, luxury, abundance, that kind of thing. All right, so I'm going to be using a fair few other cards as well. But first up, I just want to see what the current energy is of the Divine Masculine right now. We've got Temptation, the Devil card reversed. And this could be Capricorn related. So whether your masculine is a Capricorn, it doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be, but it's basically the energy around him right now. So what's going on with this is usually the shadow self. It's somebody who's bound to the earthly, addictive things here. So it could be addictions. It could be that he's trying to overcome a situation that is really holding him back, or being tied down into the shadow self here. But you know what? Being reversed, it shows that he's letting go of something. So something that may have been tempting him in his journey or pathway right now, he's letting go of. He's just, see how he's kind of like just put his hand up to this light. It's like he's looking away, like really quickly. You can see this action. It's like, no, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want a bar of that. And it's like a key, actually. I'm seeing a key. So he's not wanting to look at an aspect of his life, that there's a pathway or a key to a door he could be opening. And he's like, no, I don't want to go there anymore. That's my past. Because that's what it usually is relating to, is the past. Yeah, passion igniting within this Divine Masculine right now. So he's allowing this to just be released. It's like letting go, dissolving the energy away from this past temptations to go into old patterns, and allowing his passion to ignite. And you can see that it's in the solar plexus and the heart chakra all together here, allowing this courage and passion to ignite right now within him. Now, what do we want to see? What's this around? So it's around his material self, his ability to open up. But you know what it is too? It's like this hard work he's been putting on into his own life. He's been working really hard at something. This is usually the solo journey, someone who's working very hard or focusing very hard on something, and they're bringing in the rewards. And he's still working on this, I feel. Being reversed, it shows that there's still some work to do. So he's very motivated to deal with this once and for all. That's what I'm seeing with this. Because the nines are always, in numerology, they represent completion of the cycle. It's like that cycle is complete. But being in the tarot, the 10 is the next step, I should say, to the end of the cycle. So in this case, he's not yet there in feeling really secure in himself, in his material world, but he's getting there. He has this passion ignited, this emphasis on motivation and the drive, to get it happening. So I'll just move those to the side. So let's have a look then at how he's perceiving you currently, feminines. I'm going to fix these up. I'll be doing this quite often, guys. I always make a mess. So how is he perceiving the feminine right now? How is he perceiving her? Well, there's awareness. He's aware, very aware of the feminine's presence. And this is the Magician. So it's like bringing all your tools and resources to bring something about, to plan. So he might be planning some things right now when he's aware of her and interesting. Yeah, I'm just realizing he's perceiving her this way. He's perceiving her to be aware. Yes, he is aware. He's very aware of things around him right now and of the feminine presence, but he's also very aware that the feminine, so this particular divine masculine here is aware that there's a feminine that has been undergoing a lot of pain from the past. There's been an emotional loss. There's been grief, but being reversed, he sees that she's coming out of this grief, this pattern of sadness. Because she's going through a transformation. He's seeing this, that she's gone through some kind of a transformation. She's letting go of this. She's healing. We have the green healing color, right? Green for this, green for this. So there's healing in this for her, and he's aware of this, and he sees that she's aware of her own healing journey and that she's been transforming her life and releasing also the old patterns. Yeah. Moving towards her fulfillment of wishes. It's emotional contentment. It's wishes coming true. It's the wishes fulfilled. You know, so he sees that she's transforming her pain into something beautiful, like healing, and it's like a treasure chest here, finding herself again, opening that box, you know, to look within and because she's already done that. She's already become aware of the pain that exists and is able to see hope in a situation here and move on from the past, let go and move on with her life and find this happiness within herself, even in her own journey on her own, finding this resolution and peace, happiness. It's amazing, all the green. All the green is representing this healing energy, and this leaf here, the spring leaf, you know, it's how I see it, is like a renewal of energy. It's a fresh beginning. Where it's funny because it's the 9, which is representing near the end, but it's like the water, the emotion, the journey, the treasure within. She's really starting to see the treasure within herself, and that's how he sees her, that there is this treasure within, and she is this beautiful goddess, basically, who's transforming her own life, and is very sensitive as well, and able to be a healer. Perhaps she is a healer. So, how is he feeling about you at the moment? How is the divine masculine feeling about the divine feminine? That's what I call it, divine masculine, divine feminine. What he's currently feeling. All right, well, that came out. It's meant to be. So we've got the mental conflict number 2 reversed. This can be somebody who needs to make a decision but just can't. But being reversed, I see that it's actually quite good. He's coming out of a place, like how he's feeling is that he's coming out of a place of indecision. It feels like there was some mental conflict, but he's now positively moving forward, which is a fast action, by the way, for this as well. It can represent that. Yeah, so what I see is that there's positive way forward, the light's shining at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. The waters are calmer now in his life. So there's no mental turmoil is what I'm trying to say. And now he's moving forward into this new connection or a new beginning or a new feeling of love. So he is actually feeling like this is a beginning. So perhaps if you were together in the past, if there's been a separation, this is a chance for renewal once again, of him leaving something behind. It could have been indecision on whether to come back onto this path with you, or it may just be that he's leaving something that was quite, what am I saying? I don't want to swear in this now, but it's like it's stuffing with his head. It's like a, it's doing his head in, something that was doing his head in, and it was mind games and things like that. He doesn't want a bar of that. He wants to move forward into this new connection, the rainbow after the storm, right? And it's like, I kind of see this card as well as like after the storm, you know, he's moving forward into this beautiful energy, and that's what he wants, and that's what he feels towards the divine feminine. Yeah, and his guard is down, which is awesome. So he is, I feel, quite open. And this energy here, I feel, is, it kind of has this energy around it, even though it's calm in the picture. It's like he really wants to get this happening, even though it's a beginning. Like he's very open to the possibilities of where this can go. But he's still trying to get his material world together, like we saw earlier. Yeah, there's some changes in his life, but it's not necessarily a bad thing being reversed. I mean, in this card, it might be a different meaning, but what I'm seeing is that he's getting on top of things in his life, being optimistic about the future with a new connection here. It's this new connection. What am I doing? Yeah, so we've got the moon, which is the shadow energies. Could be the Pisces, actually. Could be a Pisces you're dealing with, or a Cancerian, or you might be one. But it doesn't matter if you're not. It just shows the shadow self. It shows intuition. He's following his intuition. It feels to me like the guard's down now, and he's not so wary or cautious, like, or guarded around his, it's funny, his material world. So it feels like he's ready to share something with somebody. You know, he wants to have that fresh start, that new beginning. His guard is down. He's feeling like he's actually allowing himself to feel his way through this, rather than allow his mind to just take over, and you know, being overly analytical and things like that. It's like he's allowing his intuition to take over. And the shadow self once again comes up for him on how he's feeling. So it does show that there's some deep stuff going on with him. And it is to do with the learning, the lessons, right, in the past. So I feel like for this divine masculine, he's had some stuff to go through, and he's now ready to set sail and move towards the divine feminine, which is awesome, and perhaps make a commitment. He may not necessarily be ready for that because it is just a beginning, but it shows that his feelings are steering, you know, towards the divine feminine. So that's beautiful. And then we've got what challenges is the divine masculine currently facing? What challenges? Yeah, so this is the 9 of Wands, which is spiritual strength. Beautiful card, this one, actually. I love this. He's still getting there, okay? So this is a challenge for him to remain humble, to remain connected to his spiritual path. He may not understand fully the spiritual connection between the two of you. He's feeling it, but he may not understand that. He might be too, focused on his material world, being practical, being grounded, being logical. And it's, what am I saying? It's that karmic thing here of give and receive. So he's learning all this stuff. He's going through a huge journey of being able to learn how to open up again. And I say that because it feels like he did in the past and was hurt or was taken advantage of in some way, and is now weighing things up, okay? That's what I'm getting from that. And we have the balance card, which is in these cards, it's the justice. So it's showing equality, it's justice. It's showing that there is room for objectivity. He might be finding it really hard to find balance in his life right now. This could be a Libran energy that you're dealing with, or that, you know, you might be, they might be. But his challenge is to try and find balance between the spiritual connection and the material world here. We did see that before, that he's sort of learning to move away from that analytical mind that might have been overtaking him, and trying to get into the feeling side of things, the intuition, that kind of stuff as well, from his lessons in the past. So he's finding it hard to This is the Lovers card, which is the Gemini energy, and he's finding it a challenge to come into a harmonious kind of connection with the Divine Feminine. So whatever's going on for him still, his focus is very much in the material plane right now, and he is struggling to keep connected with the spiritual. But it does show that there could be something he's thinking of giving up on as well, and it could be relating to his material world. There might be something that's requiring him to step away from this focus to give this more attention. And that could be the challenge for him, to find this balance in that way as well. And to also, maybe he can't put a lot of focus on a connection right now. Maybe he's got so many other things that he's trying to work out in his life right now and sort out. So discontent and boredom usually shows an opportunity being laid out for the Divine Masculines, and they may not be in a place, you know, in that place within themselves where they can take that opportunity. It might be that, you know, being reversed too, it could show that they might feel that the opportunity is not there for them right now, that it's not the right time, that it's got to come down to divine timing. And perhaps, you know, for some of them, they're still working through some stuff and they're not fully there yet. But they want to be, because this is what they want at the end of the day. This Divine Masculine that I'm tuning into, these ones, want this foundation and strong commitment. It's celebration, it's happiness. It's, at the end of the day, it's that happy ever after. It's the rainbow. Again, a rainbow after the storm. So this Divine Masculine has still got some stuff to tie up in his life, like tie up loose ends before he's at this place. But I can see that he wants to. He wants to work through stuff, but it is a matter of timing. And in this process, there can be a feeling of being a little defeated or bored, or, you know, that things aren't moving along. Maybe the Divine Feminine's in another connection with someone, or there's just some reason they can't be together right now. Now, where am I up to? What's the special message he wants to share with the Divine Feminine? Our chemistry is so strong right now. So even though you guys may not be able to actually be together, because we do see a new beginning arising with this as well. So this could be very relevant to this. If there's a new beginning, even if it's spiritually or emotionally, even if you're not in contact physically, you can still feel this chemistry. It's amazing how energy travels like that. So he's saying that he can feel the chemistry like between you. Some of you, it might even be a new connection, and you're like, what the hell is this? You know, I can feel this energy. Look inside yourself. So he actually wants, where is it? I think this is not him telling you this. I think that this is the Divine Masculine telling the Divine Feminine that he's looking inside himself right now. One more. It's funny too, because, look, he feels sad. This is sad. So even though he is progressing, he doesn't necessarily feel that he is, and might need a bit of that support, or that, you know, just that encouragement in life in general, let alone from the Divine Feminine, that he is actually moving and progressing through the past. It just takes time. And it feels to me that for whatever reason, there's something in his material world perhaps that is preventing him from moving into this with the Divine Feminine. And, you know, once again, if it's a new connection, it's obviously going to take time to grow, and he's moving past some of the stuff like old patterns that might have been very rigid for him. You know, he might have had certain ways of thinking about relationships. He is transforming some part of himself and moving more into the feeling, intuitive side of things, the spiritual self. But he feels sad. So for whatever reason, there is this sadness arising. Now let's see what he needs to surrender. What does the divine masculines need to surrender to right now to help with this? So, oh my God, we just said this. Surrender to divine timing. So sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. So basically, the divine masculines just have to be patient in their own ability to move forward. It could be finances, it could be just anything in the material world or even emotional issue that they're trying to overcome right now. And I feel they will. It's just going to take that divine timing. So let's have a look at the temporary outcome for the divine masculine regarding this connection with the divine feminine. What's going to kind of happen here? We do want to see what action he's going to take towards the divine feminine. We might actually do that first. What action is he taking towards the divine feminine this month? Oh, wow. The intuition's there again. This is just interesting. All right, let's have a look. So we've got the sacrifice card reversed, which is the Hanged Man. This is somebody that needs to go within and pause and reflect. And there's the rainbow again, which is just interesting. We've seen it 3 times, I think. There could have been in other cards, but I've seen them in 3 cards so far. Which shows me that, usually the Hanged Man reversed represents that they're back on their feet now. So this divine masculine is still, I feel, trying to gain the insight though. That's how I'm reading into this. He's still trying to work out the sacrifices in life that he has to make in order to change, in order to improve himself, in order to let go of control. Not having to control everything, going through his emotions or his intuition here. The prosperity begins just shows that he's not knowing how to. He hasn't got the tools just yet to form a path with the divine feminine right now because he's still doing an internal work. But that's okay because it shows that he's really working on himself. He's building a strong foundation within himself, which is just awesome. Yeah, because the new beginning is reversed. Even though we saw the love begins card before, it still shows that the action is that he is not entirely ready to jump in because this is the Fool. This is the jumping in impulsively into the unknown. And at the moment, he's just got to trust in his intuition to allow him to do so. But being reversed, it just shows that he's still a bit fearful of jumping into something that's quite new. Even though it might be not a new thing between the two of you, it just feels like it's a new, fresh path. So it feels like he's wanting to get back on track, but he needs to make sure that everything is right in his life. He wants to make sure that he's a strong divine masculine with a strong foundation coming in. Yeah, because the wheel's not turning just yet. It's delaying. It's a bit delayed, right? It's a delayed process. See, yes, it is. Because accelerated motion is fast action, but it's not fast action. This is going to take time. So the divine feminines just have to be patient a little bit more. Because he's at the moment allowing his thoughts, like he's getting out of this fear, like this being trapped in fear. It's like an entrapment, feeling that something is holding him back, but he's starting to be aware that, well, hang on a minute, this doesn't have to hold me back. I can overcome this. I can grow in this. I can learn the lessons and just move on through this. That's what he can do. But he's not in his emperor role just yet. This is the Aries. And this is the Pisces, I think, yeah. So I'm just checking through these, the Pisces. So this is the Aries and this is the Emperor role, the authoritarian. He's not feeling completely like the masculine, like he's ready to just jump in and take control and be like the masculine role. Like he's just not feeling that. He's not in his king energy just yet. Yeah, and it's so interesting because we saw this come up first of all for the divine masculine, which is interesting because it was talking about abundance and fertility and growth. But being reversed, the action that I'm seeing with him is that he's not, his action is showing that he's not jumping in for this connection to really grow and be, flourishing and everything. What he's doing is trying to focus on his own self right now, which is awesome. So he hasn't yet got that insight, but he's about to, I feel, get the insight because I feel like he has surrendered to it. He wants to. Because he's doing his self-work, that does show me that. It's a good sign. It just takes time to do that sometimes. So now we have the temporary outcome. We've pretty much seen it, but I just want to see in the next month what it sort of shows, like the influences around that. Yeah, so this is the confidence, right? To face himself in the world, to face the world. The world is your oyster, basically. And this usually represents completion of a cycle. It's success. It's the end of the journey kind of thing. But being reversed, he's still got to find the confidence and courage to do that, to come to that full cycle within himself, to not be emotionally withdrawn anymore. What it looks to me like is being reversed is that this shows me there's still some stuff that he needs to deal with and work on letting go. On an emotional level, he might have thought he's dealt with it, but he's becoming very aware that there's some things he still needs to work on. And that's cool. That's really good that he's aware of that. So let's have a look at the romance angels here. Yeah, this is what he's got to do. Free himself from those past issues, right? So it's time to take back control of your life, and that's what he's trying to do. Amazing, amazing. What will he do? What is going to happen? What's the positive in this? Wow, that flew out. Hang on. Okay, so hearing messages from spirit. This is that intuition coming in, his higher self, okay? So it says, I am a clear channel for messages from spirit. This is his guardian angels. This is his spirit guides. This is God, this is his deceased loved ones. This is his higher self. It's stuff like that. So he's actually starting to, and he will, tune into his intuition. Like he's going to go with how he feels. He's going to have that higher wisdom coming through, which is just awesome. All right, let's have a look at the divine feminine now. Okay, we're focusing on the divine feminine now, her energy. What's going on for her this month regarding the divine masculine as well. All right, let's have a look at the divine feminine's current energy right now. Okay. Right, hang on. Okay, this is really interesting. So the divine feminines are feeling drained of energy right now. First up, they are in their mind space too much. Like there is the darkest fears there being reversed. This usually can represent depression for some. It can mean that some of them are just in a dark place within themselves, fearful of the future, fearful of the connection. We are talking about this, this connection with the divine masculine. So they could be fearful about what's going to happen with this connection. I'm getting the words, can they trust again? That kind of thing. Whether it be a past relationship that's hurt them or some kind of pain in the past with this divine masculine, perhaps even. There's issues coming up around this. It's like they could be staying up late at night. There could be insomnia. There could be something they're dwelling on. And it shows the moon cycles here too, which is really interesting. So it's showing me that there's phases in this. There might be cycles that the divine feminines go through in this particular mental space right here. And that they're not coping, some of them, with the thoughts that are coming through, or the worries, or the stresses, or anxiety. So they're not feeling that this, can succeed. They're not feeling that there's victory in this connection for whatever reason. Maybe they're feeling the divine masculine has backed right off, or is too focused on other things than them, and it gives them the message that, okay, they're not interested, or this can't go anywhere. So the divine feminines have a defeatist energy at the moment with this anxiety. And they're advised to rest and reconsider, but a lot of them they're reconsidering, all right? They're thinking, should I just let go of this now? Should I just move on? It's too much of a, mind, what am I saying? I was going to say something else, but anyway, I'm not going to. But it's just stuffing with their heads. Just like I was going to say with the divine masculine, it's something that's just messing with their mind, and they don't want a bar of it right now. It's too intense and overwhelming for some of them, and they're quite down. It could be going through a dark night of the soul phase for some of them. So a lot of them are thinking about just, moving on. Moving on, letting go. It says choose your battle. So some divine feminines in this are very guarded, very overprotective, like self-protective. And what I see with this, it's so interesting when I'm seeing these, I don't know what they are, but these lines coming out here, it's like spikes. And I see that some of the divine feminines might be like that porcupine or echidna, where they're like on guard, but they're also got this, like their aura, their energy is just like, get the hell away from me. I don't want to deal with anything right now. I don't want to deal with you. So they're on guard, they're defensive, feeling that they have to be on the alert for some reason. So there is perhaps some pain that's happened in the past with the divine masculine. And this could be why he's now stepping back and working on himself. This could have something to do with this as well. Or it's just a past issue that the divine feminines have faced, and they're not sure where to go with this, with the divine masculine right now, or how to even deal with it, within themselves, cope. How are they perceiving the divine masculine right now? So first up, the dedicated effort is reversed. So this is someone who's very, focused on something. There's hard work being placed on something. And it's like he's creating this masterpiece, like he's putting his attention to the details, etc. But being reversed, the divine feminines see that he's abandoned something. He's not putting the effort in. He's not putting in the focus. And this is to do with her, because as we saw, he has actually withdrawn, or he's not jumping into anything intimate right now with her. He is actually focusing on his own life, his own foundations, his own spiritual growth, all those things. So she's seeing that he has backed off and is not putting the attention or energy into this connection. It is a karmic cycle. This is the Judgment card. And she sees that he is blossoming. Yeah, that's it. In his life, she's seeing this, that there is this energy he's manifesting into his own life and this growth. So she does see that. Joy and stability, but she also sees, once again, the Four of Wands comes up. This can be the twin flame card, but joy and stability, happy relationships, the strong foundation, this energy, right? She's seeing that he's not necessarily putting energy into the relationship side of things, maybe even in other relationships around him. He's just keeping to himself, perhaps getting on, if he's a workaholic, things like that, he could be doing that, just working and focusing on his own material world and not necessarily putting emphasis on relationships, and he may not necessarily be really happy in his life or fulfilled. She's seeing that as well. Yeah, she sees he's not spreading his wings for this new path to join with her, because the Two of Wands represents two people coming together who share a vision, and they're going on this pathway together, and he's not ready for that right now. So yes, we did see the love begins with him, where he's starting to open up and be aware of this stuff, and he is feeling these emotions, etc., trying to move into that intuition and feel his way through something. But she definitely sees that he's not putting the energy into building the foundation right now. He's just trying to maintain his own energy right now in his life. Yeah, he's healing. He's healing himself. We just saw that before. So she sees that he's healing. This is the Aquarius energy. This is the star. It's the wish coming true. So she definitely sees he's breaking. Oh my God, this is amazing. He's breaking from those shackles that we saw in the card with him, which was the devil card, the temptation reversed. He's breaking from those shackles now. He's healing himself. He's embracing this light within himself, and he does have his arms wide open here. He does want to move forward. He's just realizing he's got work to do on himself still. So that's amazing. Wow. What we'll look at now. How is the divine feminine feeling towards the divine masculine? How's she feeling towards him? Yeah, she's not open right now to him. Some of them might not be open to him even in the friendship zone, or they've friendship zoned him, because usually this represents close friendships. It's that networking. It's sharing the love. It's being in that community spirit. It's kindred spirits coming together and sharing this compassion, this love, this friendship. She's not necessarily opening up to him right now, or she could also be feeling that he's not doing it the same for her. But I feel like they're both kind of doing that. They're not really... there might be a cautious kind of energy going on there, because we do see healing begins, right? That she's not necessarily seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. This is the card where it's about that mental clarity, being able to see, pulling the curtains across, revealing what's behind the veil, so to speak. It's coming out from that chaotic kind of storm energy that's been brewing, and being able to see something for what it is, and allowing for healing after the journey, that storm, right? Emotional storm and turmoil that the feminines are going through. She's not seeing that. And she might also be seeing, feeling that the divine masculines are undergoing their own healing path, but they're not necessarily have that insight just yet, like we saw before, because this is mental clarity. It's about moving on, and she's definitely not moving on from the divine masculine, even though she might be closed off as well. She's maintaining self-control right here. So this is the Leo energy. She's maintaining self-control. She's holding back. She's a bit closed off. Well, some of them are very closed off. But she's definitely, I feel, waiting. She's sort of waiting in the shadows. She's going through her own healing path here right now. And also learning to tune into her own intuition. I feel like for the divine feminines, they have a very strong, intense connection with the divine masculine. They want to know what's going on. They want to know, but they're not necessarily sure of what's going on, because he may be closed off himself, not revealing much emotionally. I've got two there. So once again, solar plexus is here. It's reversed in this one, and it's showing me that she's not putting much energy into this. This is the power center. This is our energy center. This is where we have our drive and motivation to succeed. It's the confidence, and she's not feeling that. She's not feeling that towards the divine masculine right now. This is amazing. This is the devil energy. This is the temptation energy we saw for him before, being reversed. So she's learning to master her own heart in this. She's learning to, it feels to me like some of the divine feminines are trying to break that karmic cord between themselves and their divine masculine. So they don't necessarily want to be caged up in this feeling of like being trapped in this feeling of sadness or hopelessness in the connection. And they can see too, looking at it from another angle, that he is, as we saw before, he is actually learning and moving through this allowing his heart out, allowing it to open, right? Allowing himself to heal through past energy, past patterns, etc. So that's what she's seeing there. That's what she feels for him. Yeah, she might not necessarily want to be tied to him right now either, because some of them might be a little bit in that attitude of, well, you're not giving anything to me, I'm not giving anything to you. You know, that can be what's going on, like a thing going on there. So what challenges are the Divine Feminine's facing right now in this connection? We just saw some before, but... yeah, so the Divine Feminines are not getting that higher wisdom right now. So they are in their mind space. We saw before the current energy where they're depressed, their mind's all over the shop. They're not getting the higher wisdom right now, so that's a challenge for them. But sacral chakra, which is the sacred sexuality, it's about personal feelings, it's their emotions, personal emotions, it's their creativity center. It looks to me like they need to go within. They're finding it really hard to seek insight. This is the Hermit card, the Virgo energy. And they're finding it really hard to be able to connect even sexually, on an emotional, spiritual level with their divine masculines, even physically. For some of you who are in a connection where he's just pulled back, you know, it does show that there's some insight that needs to be found here as well. There's some divine feminines are feeling that they are stifled. They don't have this creativity within them. They don't have that higher wisdom coming through on what to do and how to alleviate any feelings of resentment or pain, which is where a lot of this energy can be stored in the sacral chakra. Some of them, though, coming out of this feeling of being trapped. So, yes, we're looking at the challenges here. So being reversed, it does show that some of them have the opportunity to, but may not necessarily see it. So they are keeping themselves locked in this. You know, they're keeping themselves locked in that. Yeah, they're not opening up. They're finding it hard to open up. We saw her with those spikes, you know, like the echidna, porcupine, standing back with control, self-control, not giving much at all. So they're the challenges the Divine Feminine's facing right now. So on that note, what does she want to say to the Divine Masculine? There they go. Okay, you will always be in my heart, and let's talk. So she still loves her Divine Masculine. You know, she's got very strong feelings for this Divine Masculine. So you will always be in my heart, but she wants to communicate. She does want to. And maybe that's what she wants to say to him. Some of you might have even said this if you feel like it's a goodbye, you know, or they're needing their time and space. It's like, you know, you'll always be in my heart. I want to tell you that. And she's telling the Divine Masculine to open his heart. Isn't that funny? You'll always be in my heart, but open your heart as well. So it's like she wants to know, are you feeling the same? You know, this is what they want to know, the Divine Feminines. Right, so then we've got what action will they take towards the Divine Masculine this month? So some Divine Feminines, you know, some of them are actually going to overcome that energy of feeling closed off. And they may actually, whether it even be spiritually, you know, do an affirmation, do a meditation, or try and spiritually or energetically connect with their Divine Masculine, even telepathically, whatever it is. Could even be a physical contact, you know, like emailing, texting, or phoning or something. They're making perhaps some contact in some form and then awaiting, like taking the lead, but then sitting back waiting to hear back and to see what happens. That is what the energy is, the action. And realizing there's a higher lesson. This is the Taurus energy. So realizing there's a higher lesson in this. There is a lesson in this process between the divine masculine and what he's going through and the divine feminine. So between the two of them, there are just things that are not to be taken personally. It's just that each are on a different path at the moment. Maybe they're not aligning. Yeah, because she's still going to be in this conflict of do I or don't I? You know, some will actually take the action of stepping forward and doing that, and some will be like, do I or don't I? Do I want to commit to that or not? You know, should I make some kind of contact or not? This is the Tower energy. This is rebuilding. This is sudden change. Wanting to rebuild their own life, you know, as well. So yeah, she wants to rebuild herself and this connection as well, but absolutely this success and growth doesn't feel like it's going to be hugely successful. Has this toing and froing in her mind, is very conflicted, doesn't know if it's, and you know, is there any point in contacting this person and putting it out there, or will I just be rejected or ghosted again or whatever it might be? And I don't feel the divine masculine in this case is deliberately trying to shut the divine feminine out. I just think that he's aware that he needs to fix up something. There's something just, he's at the tail end of doing it. Daydreams and decisions. Feeling that she doesn't have much option to do this. And some of them might feel delusional, like thinking, oh my God, is it all in my head? Like, should I do this? Should I not? Like, there's so much in their mind space at the moment. And not feeling grounded. So the divine feminines have to be grounded in order to don't jump in impulsively, and don't some divine feminines out of their own fear or whatever might make a step forward, but then realize, oh, what did I do that for? And kick themselves, you know. But it's like, you know, this is just, you've got to go with your intuition as well. You got to feel grounded. Some of them are still needing to confront some issues within themselves, and the divine feminines may not necessarily want to do that because, you know, they might just think, oh, it's up to the divine masculine to sort of make a move. But it does show the divine feminines have their own stuff to sort out and confront as well, and their own intuition to go through. And they need to ground for the divine masculine. It's all good for the divine masculine to be working on himself, but so does the divine feminine need to. So what does the divine feminine, I forgot to look at this, need to surrender? Surrender silence. Wow, surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. This is what she needs to do because she's so much in her mind space right now, going around and around. She just needs to take some quiet time out to achieve that insight within herself. So what's this, what am I looking at here? Yeah, I think I'm looking at this one. Doesn't matter if it's not in the same order. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. So she's aware that this person means a lot to her, like he is her true love. She's aware of this. This is why I feel that she's so feeling intensely about this and perhaps really down, because she knows in her heart that this is her soulmate or twin flame. So I just want to focus on, I'm a bit all over the shop at the moment. I think we did the temporary outcome, didn't we? This is something I'm just getting confused with, but I'll just try it again. What's the temporary outcome for the divine feminine? I only feel like I need to pick out 3 cards. Yeah, that one. Okay, so they're all reversed. Doesn't necessarily mean it's that bad. But we see the Temperance card reversed. It's all about balance. So she is going to feel a little bit imbalanced with her energy, masculine, feminine roles. It's a Sagittarius energy, so there might be a lack of optimism. The release is the Scorpio energy, so it's just about transformation once again, and she's just learning to let go of some things and allowing for the, you know, process to flow. She's got to learn this. So it just shows that there's some delays in this for the divine feminines. I just feel that once they take that time out to meditate and not stress so much, that's when the answers will come clear to them. So let's have a look at this card here. flying free. I unfurl my wings and fly. Some divine feminines are feeling very trapped, as I said, in their own minds, in their own life, whatever it might be. They've just got to free themselves. They've just got to free themselves. What's the special message for both at this time for this month? What's the special message for the connection? Okay, here we are, this one. So it says, close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. Both of these divine counterparts, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, need to do something that makes them happy, something that's going to fill them up with that joy, with that passion, with that love within themselves, individually. Because if you can't fill your cup, within yourself, you can't share that with anyone. Like you can't, if you don't fill up your own cup and fill your own energy and everything and be the best you can be, how can you share yourself to someone else? So the divine masculine is aware of that, and they're very spiritually aware of this now. And they're moving into that energy. And the divine feminines are feeling really sad and feeling rejected in some way and worried about the connection. They just got to move their focus in through a meditation, in through their affirmations. It's, really good energy right now to do so, to fly free. And both of you can enjoy life. You can find the joy in life. And once you do that, you're even going to be more attractive to the other person anyway. So, even get out in nature. It's very healing. Around the greenery, the trees, water, whatever it is you need to do, just get out there and live your life and heal yourselves. And, this is going to be amazing. So I hope that's helped you this month, and I look forward to connecting with you next time. Love and blessings.